y'all. Video number 2. Let's get this chaotic way I do things started, shall we? Here on the day 1 of 2023. Yay! Super excited. I'm excited for this year. I want to fill in some holes from the first video. Again, I'm so uncomfortable doing this. But equally excited because this is gonna be awesome. Okay, so I talked about my weight, but I didn't really say that I gained so much weight when I got pregnant with my daughter. I forgot to include that. I gained like 75 pounds. So then I was never anorexic again after that because I had put on so much weight that I was considered obese. Up until probably now. I mean, I haven't been to a doctor. It's been a minute. So I'm still considered obese on the doctor's stuff, but I haven't been to a doctor in years and years. But now I think maybe I'm just right at the right weight according to their little charts. And again, you know, you can't really go by those charts because we're all different. But I was pushing 250 when my daughter was like around 10, between 8 and 10 years old. And now I'm sitting at a comfortable 180, which I'm happy with. I know I'm supposed to weigh, what, 150, 160 according to those charts. But if I don't lose any more weight, I'm fine with it. The only thing is my waist could be a little smaller. The reason it's not is because I have a few issues. I have a separated stomach muscles that got pushed out and separated even more because of the 2 hernias I have. I have a hiatal one that I've had for over 10 years and an umbilical hernia that I've had for, oh gosh, maybe 6 years or so. And no, I haven't had them checked or looked at except for emergency. I've had a few emergency room visits where it like got crazy. But the thing is now I'm aware of it. Now I'm aware of what makes those like act up, what makes them flare up. And as long as I don't do the things that makes them flare up, then they're fine. And I can heal them. I know I can. I'm still in the part where you have to really believe you can, because that's what I believe. I believe that if you believe it's true, then it is true for you. I don't care what it is. I do not care what it is. Okay, let me go. Okay, yeah, let me bring up the mentally ill. I think like spiritual therapy would be really cool. Like have some people that are aware of the other side. It's not just the physical world. There is a whole other world. As above, so below. You know, as within, so without. You know, there's a physical world. The logic would tell you there's a spiritual one too, right? So we need people that have one foot in each, you know, to help our mentally ill people. I really think that should be a thing. And I'm throwing the idea out there into the ether. So mental health specialists, what can we do about that? That would be freaking amazing. Everyone has a truth to tell. Every single person with 7 billion, 8 billion people on the planet, every single one of us has a truth. We're multi-dimensional beings. We live in a multi-dimensional world. Again, to me, logic says that we should all be able to have our truth no matter what it is, right? Like, I have my truth, you can have your truth. They don't have to add up, but we can still coexist. I mean, you know what I mean? And we're all energy. We just run by frequency, right? So those who won't come in contact with us won't come in contact with us, and those who will. We can coexist. I mean, we might not see each other. There will be a lot of people who won't see each other, but do you see what I'm saying? It's just crazy how, where my mindset is now, that we can all have our own truth. And if we stop judging each other, which, by the way, I think when you sit there and judge someone, you're actually judging yourself. So then you figure out what it is that you're judging in that person, find out why you're judging it in yourself, track it down to what did it, what caused it, the trauma, and then heal it, and then you won't judge that in other people anymore. I mean, that's just how it's worked for me. And again, my truth. I'm not saying there's like a collective of people out there that share my truth. I think that's how it works. We have to find our collective, right? And then us together hold the energy for it. I'm not saying it cancels out anyone else's. Why can't we all coexist? Do you know what I mean? But again, I'm not a scientist. I wasn't really book smart in school. I barely made it. I like C's and D's. Shoot, and I'm being honest, I didn't even graduate high school. No, I didn't graduate high school. I got my GED though. But I'm very well connected to the other side. I've always had this knowing. Like I said, I came in with knowing something, and I just didn't realize how connected I was until the last few years. It's beautiful. There's so much to it. I'll get there. Okay, let's get back on track. Fill in the holes. I did all that part, right? Yeah. And I came across in video one about how I don't have a job and everything's still covered, blah, blah, blah. Let me throw some context in there because I kind of came across, I don't know, as entitled. And I'm very grateful to be able to be where I'm at right now. And if I unknowingly strip myself down, did I say that already? To my vessel? Strip myself down. I didn't have a car at the time. I didn't have my apartment. I left my apartment, moved in with my person. My daughter graduated. She was gone doing her thing, which is what kids do. They graduate, they move out. And I was just left there with just, like, I just really felt like that was it for me. I was done. Like, I'm done. I'm just merely existing at this point. Just merely existing. That's it. Like, it's not enough. This doesn't work for me. This does not work for me. So I prayed to whatever was out there. I knew there was something. I knew there was a higher power. I knew for me it wasn't what was in the church, because I got that from so many different sides of the church. All the negativity from all of it. Again, that's a whole other video, a whole other time. I do. Oh, wow. I do still have some trauma with that. That I'm really needing to come face to face with. But now that I know that the higher power that I've always felt my whole life, that higher power, I can actually now not necessarily put a face with it, because there's no face, it's all energetic, but now I feel the source. Like I feel where the source comes from. Do you know what I mean? Like, whereas before I'm feeling it, but then I have the face of it within the church of what I was trying to be taught. And it just didn't add up for me, so the feelings of it was off, and but now, like, I'm connected, like, I feel it, like, it's, yes, that's the higher power that I've been, like, working with my whole life. Partially, I shut all of it off. Again, that's a whole other of these gifts that I had, and then shut off, and then they came back online, and that's when I even remembered them. It's, again, a whole other sporadic, like, way to learn me. That's how I learned myself, so y'all get to learn me that way too. So gratitude. Like I said, I stripped myself down, and then my person and my mom actually made it possible, gave me, like, the foundation, like, they gave me the cocoon in a sense, like, so that I could just sit here and do what I needed to do for myself, which was go deep inside and learn myself. And I actually started learning myself through my triggers. Like, I was such an angry person. I'm like, why am I an angry person? I got to the point where I got fed up with my own shit, basically. I got so fed up with myself. I was like, dude, this is ridiculous. And when I just wasn't dying, I guess that there was a shift. Like, I was like, okay, so I'm alive. They're clearly not gonna take me so that I could go do other stuff elsewhere. So I'm just gonna have to suck it up. There was like this shift in 2019 where my perspective like looked at everything completely different. It was a little more clear from a little higher perspective. So I knew there was a reason for all the bad things that had happened to me, but and I always knew there was a reason. But I started looking at the outside world as a reflection of my inner world, and vice versa, right? So I started like learning that saying like it's not about you. Actually, it kind of is. Because we literally, like, the outside world is a reflection of what's going on with us. So if you're going to project out, like, all your negativity and whatnot, and you're going to get it back, and vice versa. And you're living this shit life, but if you're, like, in your inner knowing of who you are and why you're here, and you've cleared up a lot of the trauma, and you've forgiven yourself, and you've let people go that might not necessarily be there for you or be for you, you know, and you just don't have these heavy, like, energies weighing you down anymore. You get to a point where, you know, then your outside world's like looking better, you know what I mean? And like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful when you realize that. And like, you sit there and judge someone or point fingers. That's why they say, you know, don't throw stones at glass houses or something like that, right? I mean, dude, we've been seeing these little clues, like, our whole lives, right? Or for me, I've been seeing these my whole life, but then they never really registered what they actually meant, and it's crazy. And again, I'm probably not making sense to people. So yeah, I get to basically just learn myself and my truth, and Mom and Celso foot the bill for me, and later on, I'm gonna be footing the bill for them. I don't know how. It's not gonna be my job. It's not my job to find out how. It's like literally just my job, like I said, the first video, just to flow towards it. Just know what I'm supposed to be doing. Know what I'm supposed to be doing and do it. But yeah, I do want to travel. I've always wanted to travel. I know it straight up sounds like I'm going to jump in a van and go, you know, and I'm not. I do want to travel with Token, though, like I said. I do. I think that would be really fun for a couple of weeks. But then I want to travel with my person and with my mom, too. I would love to take her places. One day I'll get her on an airplane. Yes, I will. Speaking of which, we should probably get passports to speed up the energy a little bit, right? Get some passports prepared. The universe will be like, oh my gosh, she's like straight up serious, y'all. She got a passport. But I do believe what you believe is your reality. I'm not going to sit here and try to make anybody believe it or try and change anyone's mind any more than I want anyone to freaking tell me that, oh, it's not that way, it's this way. Oh, that's how it is for you? Okay, cool. You know, that's me. That's gonna be me. And when I do, I like I want to speak my truth. I want to pop on here sometimes and just like say what I'm thinking about something specific from time to time. I have a lot to say. I'm a nobody with something to say, right? But at the same time, I'm everything. I'm a paradox, right? It's the paradoxes that I can wrap my mind around. That is easy. Everything simultaneously happening at the same time. I can wrap my mind around that. Linear time, I can't wrap my mind around that. That seems impossible to me. That's like what, millions and millions of years, like in a row, in order. But then you got to account for every lifetime you've lived too. No, that doesn't make sense to me. Everything happening at the same time so that I can tap into another me that's happening right now, like in the now. Like, I do that. I will. In meditation, I can go in and tap into whatever it is I need to like work on. And that's how that works for me. It's just, and again, I'm speaking for me. I don't know if anyone else does that. Does anyone else that maybe comes across me do that? Because that's cool, man. I had to go and like find the builder, Stephanie, somewhere to be able to do this. Like, this is crazy for me to just be sitting here talking into the camera knowing I'm going to post it. Knowing that my thoughts, views, ideas are going to be out there. That's terrifying. Because I had that bred into me, that worthlessness, like that I'm not worthy. Oh, and that's another thing about the birth chart. You go look at your Chiron. I have my Chiron, which is the wounded healer. Again, look it up. It's interesting. Mine is with the self, right? So it's my job in this lifetime to like master the self. So that's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, I've always had that calling. Like, I would be like feeling so selfish sometimes. I'd be like, seriously? Why am I always the one doing this shit? Why is it always me? And it would get to the point where I'd be like, oh, the only way it's getting done right is if I do it. You know, it's just this constant like griping, complaining because I'm the one that has to take care of everything. What the frick, man? And then after a while, I'm like, hold on a minute. Why do I have to be the one to take care of it? Why do I think that I have to be the one to take care of it? When was that a thing? No. And it just, I don't know, it just kind of snowballed from there. And before I knew it, I was letting go of shit. And I was like, whatever. And I got to the point where I would literally sit back and I would sit there and watch someone like just struggle a little bit. And not just jump right in to help them. Do you know what I mean? Like, we got to struggle a little bit. But then every once in a while, you know, you do kind of want to just jump in and be the savior. And you just can't. I'm sorry. You just can't. As sucky as that is, believe me, I wish I could act this. Wish I could just zap people and be like, okay, I'm just going to zap you just enough so that you have that shift. That's it. That's all I want to do. I just want to shift. Zap. You're shifted. Now you got to do the rest. Do you know what I mean? Like, because that's just what it was for me. I don't know. It was so weird. It was just like I was all these beliefs about myself, about my world around me, about everything. Everything went from this to that. It was almost overnight. And then, I don't know. It's mind-blowing. So yeah. These people are my people, and I wanna broaden it. I wanna get more people. I wanna, you know, have community of family. You know, I haven't felt that. Haven't had that. I'm a loner. I am. I sit there sometimes and think, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying again. This is gonna come across as me running off, and I'm not. But I do. Sometimes I feel like that I should be completely by myself, like with no one else's energy around me. That comes up from time to time, and I'm like, no, I need to learn how to connect. And I think that's what that is. Because I have a problem connecting. You know what I mean? Like, connecting. Before I connected in my trauma, because it was a constant codependency. Please don't leave me. I'll do what I need to do so that you don't leave me. Please don't leave me. I can't live without you. Please don't leave me. I can't make it on my own. Please don't leave me. Please just stay. I'll do what you want. Say what you want. I'll be who you want. Just please don't go. Please just don't go. Even if I didn't like the person. Why? Like, it's crazy, right? Like, wow. Like, seriously, when you start looking at yourself, it's beautiful. All of it is beautiful. All of it. Just the mere fact when I sit there and see people in their trauma, it's just beautiful to me. And not in like a, you're going through shit. But because I see the trauma, and like the bigger the trauma, the bigger the reward, is how I look at it. And it sounds crazy, but that's just how it's been for me. Like, that's how I've learned. And again, everyone's gonna have their own realities. And dudes, I do believe that even some people come and they incarnate into babies of like fully healed people, you know. I think that some people do come here for just the riches and luxury, just to have fun this life's journey, you know what I mean? Why not? I mean, I grew up believing that money was evil and you had to do bad things to get it and you had to bust your ass for it and blah, 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 all that. I don't believe that now when I see like some rich people like just enjoying themselves, having fun in the luxury, and they get to hang out in their yachts, and you know, they're doing their thing, traveling the world. Oh, that's what I would be doing. I wouldn't have a yacht. No. I wouldn't even have a car. I'd have my van, and then I'd have my passport. Oh my God. But dude, when I see people enjoying themselves, I don't look at them like this anymore. Like, what'd you have to do for that? I mean, no. I'm just like, oh my God, what if these are like lucky souls that have done the work they needed to do already, and they've already evolved. Why not? And they get to come here and like literally live heaven on earth, dude. Seriously? Oh my God. Which I believe we get to choose that anyway. Like, I was living hell on earth, and now I'm living heaven on earth. That shift, and then it's just, you know, again, wanted to die in this life. Same exact life. I'm thriving in it now. I'm painting in it now. Oh my God, I paint. I'm a painter. I paint. I'm an artist. And I enjoy it, and I'm good at it. I paint that. I went into a memory and meditation once. I was probably 10, 8, 9, or 10, somewhere around there. And it was in art class, and the teacher put a bowl of fruit for the whole class to draw. And there's little like watercolors, and you could put your color on it. And when we were done in this memory, the teacher comes over and he says, "Wow, Stephanie, girl, you have some raw talent." He was like, "This is really good." I was so proud of myself, right? At the end of class, I remembered rolling it up and then putting a ribbon around it, sticking it in my backpack. And I was about to get on the bus, and then that's all I remembered. When I came out of meditation, I thought to myself, I was like, what happened when I got home and showed that? If it had been appreciated, if it had been accepted, if they had responded the way the teacher had, wouldn't I have continued with that gift? But I didn't. I grew up with a belief that I could not draw and I could not paint. Can you imagine where I would be as an artist today if that gift had been allowed to been nurtured, you know, and watered? You know, that's crazy. I mean, you think about it, that's crazy. But having said that, so happy it happened the way that it did, because it's awesome. It's so freaking awesome to think for your whole life that you can't paint or draw, and then to find out that you can. That's freaking cool, right? Here's Miss Paradox over here. Seriously, it's awesome. Like, how can it be awesome and great, or bad, awesome and bad at the same time? You know, it was like like, dude, seriously, man, can you imagine what I could have done? To, oh my God, that it's amazing that it worked out that way, because it's just so cool. It's a paradox. Anything is possible. That is the energy of Stephanie. That is literal. I don't care what it is. If it can be thought, it can be a reality. I don't care what it is. And if it can't technically be on the earth plane, then it can be somewhere off. I mean, we're multi-dimensional, right? Oh my God. I love my truth. And I can't wait to get into all my gifts. I have some really weird childhood stories about my gifts and 25 minutes. But again, we're all one, we're all energy source. I think, again, what I was saying to my higher power is just this energetic, all-encompassing love and beauty. And like, it's us. It's all of us. We're all connected. We're all one. We're all the same material vibrating at different frequencies. Energy. I mean, that whole energy thing where flesh literally couldn't exist here, but then something about an atom or whatever, however that works, and then like, bam, we're here. Something like that. But it's beautiful. Like, just research it. It's so freaking cool. Again, I don't know. I'm not a teacher, but I am. I'm a student always. We all are. But we're all teachers too, really, at the end of the day. We learn from each other. I mean, right? It's the whole point of being here. And instead of being all in separation and being against each other because of the color of our skin or the gender or what we believe in, what higher power it is we believe in. I mean, there are so many differences that we have, and they make us all beautiful. We should be like complimenting each other for it. We should be embracing each other for it. That, again, that's just me. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, dude, yes, I do want to bring up a part of the religion thing. I negatively experienced religion, the church versions. What was it? I was baptized in Episcopal church, and then Pentecostal was another one I checked out. Baptist, Lutheran, and then non-denominational, right? Non-denomination. Yeah, I went to a bunch of them, and you know, they're all different but the same at the same time or whatever. But if you have experienced any of those positively, and you live a happy life with your Savior being the Lord Jesus Christ, that's freaking awesome. I love that for you. If that's the you know, you're happy and you're thriving and you love yourself and you're not feeling guilty about stuff, and because that's because for me it was like guilt. There was a lot of guilt for just being human. Because again, I said in the first video about how it's built in. Sin to me is no more than just being human. That's what I mean by that, just being human. Like, and that's the thing, like growing up in the church. What I got from it was, you have to be perfect to sit at the right hand of the Father. But you can't become perfect because you're human and you sin. So you have to ask for forgiveness. You have to literally get on your hands and knees and beg for forgiveness. And if you don't give money to the church, then you won't have money in your life. If you want to be abundant and be able to survive financially, you have to give to the church. I mean, these are beliefs that were like just drilled into me. And that's just sad. So I still have a lot of trauma. So, and every once in a while, I'll find myself just getting kind of, when, people bring up, I believe Jesus is real. Yes, Jesus is real. He was born of not the Virgin Mary. Virgin 2,000 years ago could have meant what? Pure of heart, right? As freaking close to God consciousness as you can get in human flesh. Right? Her and Joseph, her husband, who she had sex with, I'm sorry, but that's what I believe, had Jesus. And then they raised him in the God consciousness, right? The Christ consciousness. They raised him in the best of the best of the best. They loved themselves. They didn't feel guilty about anything. They were easy on themselves. They didn't have any hate in them. They were good people. And then when they saw Jesus had these gifts, these healing gifts, these walking on water, and then he tried to say, it's in you. It's in you. You can do it too. But it got misconstrued. It got misread. It they didn't believe it. They were like, what? We can? Wait, what? Then they were like, nah, I think maybe we'll just go ahead and, you'll be our God. And I think that's kind of just what happened. But again, that's my opinion. And now he is back as an ascended master, like in spirit form, right? Ascended master, awakening the chosen ones here on earth who are going to assist Gaia in her evolution, right? Gaia has to evolve in order for humanity to evolve, right? We can't evolve if she doesn't. If she crumbles and falls away, then what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? Do you know what I mean? So we have to help her, evolve so that we can evolve with her. I honestly think that's what's happening. That's my truth. That's my truth. So I think that's what it is. When they said, the apocalypse, like the end of the world. Apocalypse just means the end of something. It doesn't have to be bad, right? Beginning of something new. It's a paradox again. And then when they say Jesus comes back in the Bible, they talk about him coming back. But they just assumed he would be coming in the flesh and taking us away from earth. And then those left on earth would be in trials and tribulations and what have you. But I don't think it's that at all. I honestly think it's just him back as an ascended master in the spirit form. Saying, hey guys, okay, come on. We gotta get some stuff going so we can help this girl ascend. Evolve. Let's evolve. I like that word better than ascend. Evolve. It's a better word for me. Yeah. Right? I don't know. 33 minutes. I think we'll cut it there. It's about how long my last one was. But that's just a little bit more of me. Hit that subscribe button, y'all. Peace out. Love you.